I work in applied AI for Fortune 500 company, and my job can be divided into two pieces. So one is workflow internal. So I'm working with teams and organizations internally to see how can we make the workflow smoother, more efficient, etc. with AI. And then the second side is marketing to AI. And what I mean is like the future of marketing is so many people are going to be going to AI to search for their questions, to learn. They're going to be discovering products and interests in chat. Businesses want to show up in that interaction. So instead of it being like SEO, search engine optimization. Now it's a whole new world where essentially businesses are marketing to AI and agents so that the agents recommend the business's products to the consumers. So the AI becomes the intermediary between the business and the consumer. The agency I work with calls it GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, but there's a whole lot of acronyms to basically say the same thing. And that's what I want to focus on in this video is marketing to agents and businesses showing up within GEO. And because there's a lot to say on the matter, is the beginning of the series called Built for SEO, Not GEO, Rethinking Content Systems for the AI Era. And the whole thesis of this work is really for enterprises, but if you are a small to medium-sized business, you can totally benefit from the learnings, and also you actually are in kind of a better position than the enterprises because you can be more nimble. But first, let's talk about like the core of the shift from SEO to GEO. So with SEO, it was really about the page. You want to win the query and drive the click. And this is definitely overly simplified, but basically like the page is the main unit of work and then the search results is like the battleground. But in AI mediated search, that changes because AI doesn't just look at the pages in isolation. It synthesizes signals across content, entities, schema, reviews, external sources. So the unit of competition changes from the page to the answer, and that answer is gathered from the universe and ecosystem of all that's available about your business on the web. So in this new search environment, the page still matters, but it becomes less about like, does this page rank? And more about, does this brand seem to understand the topic consistently, clearly, authoritatively across the whole ecosystem? And when I say the ecosystem, it's like, let's imagine it goes out in circles. So it starts with your on-site content, that's going to be your core, but then outside of that could be your social, outside of that could be your PR and your mentions, and then even outside of that's going to be your paid, just because it supports all of it. Like that whole ecosystem, all of it matters because all of it, the AI is taking into account. So to nail this down even further, in traditional SEO, we're thinking in pages. So like URLs, keywords, ranking, traffic. In GEO, those things still matter, but they're not enough. AI systems are thinking in knowledge, which is entities, relationships, and facts. And an AI uses that understanding to produce its answers. So now a brand is being evaluated on trust, consistency, freshness, and citation confidence. That's why knowledge is such a big part of the conversation. So if your brand is explaining the same concept too differently across 5 different places on your site, or if maybe one part of your site is updated but the other part is stale about that concept, that's no longer operationally annoying. And for large enterprises, it is so operationally annoying because they have a ton of content and they have to update it when a law changes, etc. But now it's like not just hard to do, it actually really penalizes you of being cited by AI because that's going to seem like that's not a clear signal, that's not consistent or fresh. And so that's going to make it seem like it's not trusted, and therefore you're not going to be cited by AI. And because of this, we need to stop managing pages, and sometimes for companies this is thousands of pages, and start managing knowledge and concepts and entities instead. And there is tech that can support this. I'm going to do a part 2 to go a little bit deeper into that, but there are solutions.